Why the Soviet Union wasn't communist. In reflecting on the historical trajectory of the Soviet Union, it becomes imperative to differentiate between the theoretical ideals of communism and the practical realities of its implementation. True communism, as envisioned in my works, is intrinsically a collectivist democratic system, wherein the proletariat collectively owns the means of production and exercises democratic governance over all communal resources. However, the trajectory of Bolshevik governance and the policies implemented by Lenin and his successors represented a significant deviation from this ideal, resulting in a neo-feudalist structure. The essence of communism. Communism, at its heart, seeks to abolish class distinctions and create a society where resources and power are equitably shared among the populace. It envisions a stateless, classless society predicated on common ownership and democratic management. This utopian vision is rooted in the belief that individuals can collaboratively manage their societal resources far better than an elite few can. The collective experience and wisdom of the masses, when harnessed democratically, would guide production and resource distribution to meet the needs of all. The Bolshevik transition. The Bolshevik Revolution of 1917, while igniting hope for a new socialist society, quickly revealed contradictions in its practice. Initially, the Bolsheviks claimed to act in the interest of the proletariat, yet they concentrated power in a vanguard party. This vanguard, ostensibly representing the masses, transitioned into a bureaucratic elite, distancing itself from the working class. Under Lenin, the idea of democratic centralism was introduced, which ostensibly aimed to balance democracy within the party with centralized decision-making. However, this led to a rigid hierarchy that suppressed dissent and stifled true grassroots participation. The absence of broad-based democratic engagement subverted the core principles of a collectivist society. Centralization of power. One of the most tragic outcomes of Bolshevik governance was the centralization of authority. Rather than distributing power to the workers and local councils, the Bolsheviks established a state apparatus that functioned an elite ruling class. The state's role evolved to become that of an authoritarian enforcer, often prioritizing its survival over the welfare of the masses. State control over the means of production did not equate to communal ownership. Factories, land, and resources were nationalized, yet the central government's bureaucratic machinery dictated management and production processes, alienating the workers from their labor. The ideal of workers' control was abandoned for technocratic governance, thus transforming the revolutionary potential into a mechanism of oppression. Neo-feudalism. In practice, the concept of neo-feudalism serves to illustrate the systematic social stratification and power dynamics that emerged within the Soviet Union. While the rhetoric proclaimed the end of bourgeois privilege, a new class of bureaucrats emerged, arguably worse than the capitalists they had ousted. The ruling elite's policies prioritized their own interests, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation in a new guise. Labor was commodified under state directives, creating a dependence on the bureaucratic machinery for livelihoods. Workers were stripped of the autonomy inherent in true collective ownership. Instead, they became subjects of a state that sought to extract labor without genuinely involving them in the decision-making processes. The failure of internationalism. True communism transcends national boundaries, advocating for a worldwide proletarian movement. Yet, the Soviet focus on a singular national agenda hampered the revolutionary potential on a global scale. The fratricidal conflicts, both in policy and military endeavors, contradicted the essential principles of solidarity and cooperation among working peoples. The Soviet Union became a state that imposed its will upon others rather than fostering the internationalism that is a hallmark of true communism. Conclusion. The Soviet Union's journey illustrates a profound betrayal of the communism I envisioned. Rather than realizing a collectivist democracy, it established a structured hierarchy, embodying the very power dynamics it sought to dismantle. The Bolshevik assertion of authority, alongside bureaucratic centralization, resulted in a form of governance devoid of genuine representation and operated on principles antithetical to those of communism. In our quest for a truly equitable society, we must recognize and learn from the historical missteps of revolutionary movements. The commitment to fostering democratic participation, challenging centralized power, and maintaining international solidarity remains essential in pursuing the ideals of true communism. Only through recognizing these deviations can we hope to revive and realize the foundational truths of a collective, democratic system that delivers genuine liberation for all.